All right, good afternoon. I will call to order the June meeting of the Bloomington Board of Park Commissioners. And could we start with the roll call, please?
Kathleen Mills.
Here.
Ellen Rodkey.
Here.
Israel Herrera.
Here.
Jim Whitlatch.
Well, we can see him.
He's on mute.
Oh.
Maybe not. Jim, can you hear us now? Oh,
I can. You hear me?
barely.
Barely? I can hear you guys loud and clear, and my computer's turned up as loud as it will go.
Oh,
We're working on it on our end, I think. Could you try again?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
that's better.
Yeah, that's great, thank you. Could you roll call? Jim Whitlatch.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we do have everyone here, either in person or virtually. And we will start with the consent calendar. So we have the minutes from the April meeting. We did not meet in May. And the claims and payroll, expenses, a little bit of surplus, credit card refunds, all that type of thing we typically see, and some smaller agreements or partnerships. So do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Okay. And we don't need to do, or we do? Oh, okay. So roll call vote then of those in favor of the consent calendar?
Kathleen Mills.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera. Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay. All right, motion carries. And then in section B, public hearings and appearances, first up we have the Bravo Award.
Good afternoon, Crystal Ritter, Community Events Coordinator. I am here today to recognize Rulia Hanania from Smile Promotions with the May Bravo Award in recognition of their continued 6+ year commitment to the Performing Arts Series. Every year, Smile Promotions donates free concert fans that we distribute to attendees that have our full schedule for the concert season on them. They have served as our design and printing partner, providing these high-quality concert fans that have become a staple of our summer concert series. Their durability of their work means that the fans often become souvenirs, with some of our concert attendees even bringing back 6 years worth of fans with them in their picnic wagons when they come to Bryan Park. They do not just print the fans for us, they help us create a comfortable, welcoming, and professional environment for our concerts. So thank you to Smile Promotions. And Rulia was not able to attend today. She is actually out of the country this week visiting family, but she sent a very short message that I'm going to read. Thank you so much for the kind message and for this incredible honor. I am truly grateful to you, Julie, and Emily, and everyone at Parks and Recreation for thinking of me for the May Bravo Award. It means so much to be recognized, and I am thankful for the opportunity to support the Performing Arts Series anytime.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Derulia. Yeah, very nice. I like the fact that people bring the fans back over and over again. Yeah.
It's become a thing for some of them. They like collecting them.
Okay. All right, and then we will move on to number 2 in the public hearings and appearances is that our own Israel here is recognition of his having received the Be More Volunteer Award.
Yes, I just want to take a moment. I'm Tim Street, Parks Director for the City of Bloomington. and congratulate our board member Israel on his receipt of the Be More Involved Award. A few weeks ago, there was a really lovely ceremony. Caleb from our office went there, was able to get some pictures, just recognizing Israel for his community service, not just on the Parks Board, but on various, many different boards, volunteer efforts, things like that, that just support community well-being. We really appreciate you, Israel, and appreciate you being on the board, and thank you for the $1,000 award donation that went to the Bloomington Parks Foundation to support scholarships. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, team and everyone.
Okay, all right, and then we have two staff introductions today. First, we have Zach Earl, Sports Winslow laborer.
Hey, everybody. My name is Zach Earl. I'm over at Winslow now. I'm excited to be here, looking forward to it. It's been a challenge, and I'm trying to come up with the word for it. I'm looking forward to the challenge of recreating what's been going on at Winslow. So I bring more than 20 years of hands-on experience working as a skilled laborer with extensive knowledge in ground maintenance, turf management, landscaping, equipment operation, and property maintenance. Most recently, I worked as a lawn care technician, leading landscape maintenance projects for both residential and commercial properties. Prior to that role, I served as a pasture and property management property manager for Prairie Horse Farm LLC, where I managed over 15 acres of pasture and grounds, maintained farm equipment facilities, coordinated soil testing, pasture improvements, and oversaw daily property operations. In addition to my landscaping and property management experience, I spent several years working as a crew chief and instrument operator in civil surveying and construction industry, most recently on the I-69 project in Bloomington, as well as other projects across the country. These roles strengthen my leadership, teamwork, safety awareness, project coordination skills while working alongside contractors, inspectors, and field crews. Currently, I have my certification, my 3B turf management from the Indiana State Chemist, registered technician through the Indiana State Chemist, and I take pride in being dependable, hardworking leader and teammate, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to serve Bloomington community and look forward to contributing to the continued success and maintenance of city's parks and recreational spaces. And public speaking is not one of my favorite things to do.
It's fine. It's
Come
great to
talk to
have
me
you,
at the
Zach.
park. I'll talk to you
Appreciate
forever.
that you have all that experience. Welcome. Yep. All right, and then our next staff introduction is Kyra Shank, Community Relations Intern.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kira Shank. I am it's okay, the Community Events and Community Relationship Intern for the summer. I am currently pursuing my master's degree in public health at IU and focusing specifically on outdoor recreation and environmental education. With this experience, I'm really hoping, and I already have gotten a lot of experience doing hands-on event coordination and management and all the things that I never really got an opportunity to do in school. I can already tell that this is going to be an excellent experience, and I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Okay, and then on to our Section C, other business. Tim will tell us about Resolution 26-02, which is the Parks Master Plan for the next 4 years.
Yes, Tim Street, Parks Director, once again. Here we are at the end of a really large effort spanning 14 or so months, a lot of staff hours, a lot of public engagement, and a lot of really important work, including workshops, staff feedback sessions, focus groups, all of the different things that went into this master plan. And before you tonight is Resolution 26-02 to adopt that master plan. which will allow us as a department to continue to target the goals that we've identified in here through the strategic action plan. The 4 priorities that you see in the resolution and in the staff report will guide our decisions for the next 5 years. And additionally, having this master plan qualifies us for so many different things, from being a prerequisite for accreditation and some national honors and awards and things like that we might go for, to qualifying us for state grants from the DNR and other state agencies. So very important effort. I'm grateful we're at the end. I'm grateful for everyone's input that has gone into this, and we are ready to start moving on implementation.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Tim. Any questions about this resolution?
No.
No?
I'll
Okay.
make a motion to approve the resolution 26-02 for the 2026-2030 master plan adoption.
I second.
Okay, and a roll call vote, please, of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion's carried. Thank you, Tim, and everybody who contributed to the master plan. And then next up, item 2 in this section is the agreement with MSI for a Browns Woods encampment cleanup. And Amy will detail that one.
Good evening. Amy Linebeck, Operations Coordinator, and I am actually representing Rebecca Swift, our Operations and Development Director. She is out of town right now, so I'm presenting this on her behalf. So I'm just going to read through it because I want to make sure I get everything that she put in there. So we recommend this contract with MSI to provide cleanup and disposal services at Browns Woods. This project is funded by the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County. The amount is for $38,300. The MSI will be contracted to carry out the Brownswood site cleanup, which includes the mobilization of heavy equipment, qualified operators to remove and properly dispose of approximately 16 piles of discarded debris, each estimated at 8 tons. This effort will eliminate accumulated waste, enhancing site safety, accessibility, and environmental quality. MSI will ensure that all materials are transported and disposed of in compliance with applicable regulations and industry best practices. The Brownswoods property is owned by the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County and is managed by the city's Parks and Rec Department for use as a public asset. Following completion of the cleanup, park staff will initiate ecological restoration efforts on site and begin construction of a planned recreational trail. So happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions for Amy?
I think this is,
I have a question. Will the $38,000 cover the entire cleanup of that property?
Yes. So last fall, the Parks Department went in there and did some preliminary cleanup. So we were able to reduce the cost significantly because of that prep work that we did.
And do we know how much we spend on that?
The Community Foundation actually reimbursed a lot of the costs for rental equipment. So it was really just staff time that was for a few days. It was kind of an all hands on deck. But they reimbursed any of the direct costs for that effort.
I'm going to, Kathleen, I'm going to recuse myself from a vote on this matter because of, I was a long-term board member, 15 years or something like that of the Community Foundation. I think I was on the board when this property was accepted. And our firm acts, and I do specifically at times, act as legal counsel to the Community Foundation. So I feel I need to recuse myself from any vote on this issue because of the foundation's involvement in it.
Okay, all right, thank you, Jim. I just have one more question. Do we have any concerns that it's going to become an encampment again after this cleanup?
No, because the trail that we will plan and we have opened it up a lot so that it's not hidden, it's not off the beaten path. We've created, and we will have a nice recreational path so that people can use it. That's the way it was accumulated over years, is because it was really kind of off the beaten path and not easily accessed. And so that's how people were able to like kind of fly under the radar for a long time. So it's been cleared out a lot. The new trail will encourage people to actually be walking back there. And so it's not gonna be able to happen like it did before, accumulate.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions for Amy?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Marshall Security for Brownswood site cleanup.
Okay, and roll call vote, those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera.
Okay, motion is carried. Thank you, Amy. And next up in item 3 is the agreement with Deem Incorporated for the Frank Southern Ice Arena repairs from Chris.
Hello again. I'm Chris. I'm the facility manager for the ice arena. We've got a contract here with Deem. This is the follow-up to completing the items for us to open safely in the fall. This covers all the items that Deem is capable of completing, including the replacement of the e-stop, the vent switches, adding the alarm light, and the ammonia recharge. This work is required in addition to the usual service agreement just to get us all ready to go for the fall. And staff recommends approval of the service agreement not to exceed $24,000.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Chris? No? Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve service agreement with Deem.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. And then Chris also has item 4, which is the agreement with CTM Services for the next year's Zamboni rental.
Yep. We've rented from this company for the last couple of years. They've been really good to us. We've had great experiences with them. They deliver the Olympia to us, and then we drive it in, use it for the year, and drive it back out to their truck, and they take it back. So staff recommends approval of the contract for the rental with CTM Services not to exceed $32,000.
Do you get to drive it in to the?
We do, yeah, I do. Yep, I've driven it. It's very enjoyable. You can come down and do it if you'd like
Okay,
to. Yeah.
I might.
That doesn't require a separate certification?
It does not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually, yeah. The Olympia is built on a GM chassis, so it's really just exactly the same as
Like-
driving a car. Especially if you're not driving on the ice. The ice can get a little tricky, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the rental from CTM Olympia for the Zamboni.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion carried. Thank you, Chris. And then, yes, it is pool season. So Tim will tell us about the agreement with Ratio Architects for the Bryan Park Pool Study.
Yes, good evening, Tim Street, Parks Director. Really, I'm standing in for Satoshi Kido this evening, who unfortunately could not be here when we kind of shifted our dates around. This agreement with Ratio Architects is for $59,300, which is slated to come out of the Bryan Park Pool non-reverting account. And I'd like to explain a little bit of what this is about. So in our master plan, obviously, we have targeted a lot of strategic actions and questions around our sports facilities and the age of our sports facilities, specifically our 2 pools, which we know right now we're having an issue at Mills due to its age. We're having an issue at Frank Southern due to its age. And thankfully, we are not having an issue at Bryan right now due to its age, but we face that regularly. This contract with Ratio is to basically take a next step from the facilities conditions assessment that we did in the master plan to actually look at what I'm kind of describing as a menu of options for renovation. And that would include realistic costs. Sometimes in the past, we've had capital amounts, set aside for projects. We've gone into the project and we've discovered, oh, you know what, that capital amount actually won't really cover what we want to do. So I want to say this contract tonight is not in any way a decision about pools, long-term future of pools, but it is a recognition that the opportunity to renovate a pool has much higher public impact at Bryan Park Pool. Additionally, we are looking at the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant cycle this summer, which could award an additional $250 to $1 million towards a qualifying outdoor recreation project. And both pools have similar issues, but what we look at and when we see is that Bryan Park Pool has 3 to 4 times the amount of use as Mills Pool. It has infinity the amount of parking. Mills has none, but Bryan has about 200 parking spaces and is centrally located. So while we are still diligently working on the issue we are facing at Mills right now, and I can talk about that in my director updates at the end, or maybe you can ask me about that if you want to here now. What we want to do is spend a planned cash balance expense here to help give us a better picture to do better planning. And actually, I've been discussing with Kathleen a little bit strategy about some of our facility investment decisions and capital dollars. And I think likely what we're heading towards is some type of, I don't know if I want to call it a town hall, but a public meeting / town hall sometime when school is back in session and we're through the summer months where everybody's gone, so that the board can specifically ask a lot of questions, get a lot of user group input, get staff input, have a report so we can be informed to make the best decisions possible, which would then include any potential investment in one of these renovation options.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Tim about this?
When do you anticipate that the ratio, report would then be complete?
So we need to have something to the Land and Water Conservation Fund, I believe, by August. They may not be 100% done with their report, but by that point, we've talked to them about identifying some amounts. And basically what we're talking about is we're looking at, Bryan specifically, looking at the facilities condition assessment. We're talking about the pump room has issues. The bathhouse has issues. There's a men's and a women's restroom. There's no family option. There's no neutral option. Those are quite old as well. The concessions are separate. If we put the concessions in with everything else, we could save an entire staff person. We can also look at accessibility issues, all these things. So they will be able to give us intelligent cost estimates and tell us what is even feasible and possible, because they are doing similar projects like this elsewhere. So we actually landed with Ratio because right now they are doing a very similar pool renovation in Terre Haute. And actually earlier this year, or maybe it was late 25, Keto went over to Terre Haute and went to one of their Board of Park Commissioner meetings, and has been following along with that project where they're similarly renovating an old pool to bring it up to sort of some modern standards, update the equipment, accessibility, all of that.
And was there any consideration or conversation with Ratio about presenting giving them the opportunity to also make recommendations for Mills Pool?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Yeah. And then unfortunately, that was before we knew about the leak and anything like that came up. But we have not investigated that at this time. But I think logically, we could draw some conclusions from this about, how much something is going to cost in terms of a renovation, compare square footage, compare some of the things like that to get some good cost estimates that we could translate across to both. Or we could also explore an addendum with them if we want to translate some of those costs to Mills. We've got some time.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be opposed to considering that. And of course, it comes down to, dollars, obviously, and how much that would cost to extend it. Just because I hate to see, if we're exploring this, to see Mills left out of that at this point, just because we are so early. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd just be one of my thoughts.
We can definitely explore that with them,
Yeah.
especially as they get started and have a project kick off. We can say, hey, what would it be like to translate some of this stuff and look at options here as well.
Yeah.
So, Tim, so they will be assessing, but also suggesting, right? That you're saying is
The way I've described it is give us a menu of options so we can understand what we want to select. And it wouldn't necessarily be everything, it might be different combinations, but that way we could be intelligent and clear-eyed about the costs of what that would take as we look at any type of capital investment.
the contract would be from today until the 28th, and they will be coming.
It certainly wouldn't take that long. We would anticipate getting preliminary report later this year, which could feed into the aforementioned public meeting or town hall thing that we would want to do, where we're trying to provide all of these options. You've kind of seen, we had a report 2 months ago, I think, about Frank that kind of had some info. We can develop that further. We started the stakeholder group. We can continue the conversations with the consultant, get more options there. Likewise, we're looking at some options with another firm, just unofficially right now, not a contract option, but for Winslow, what would it look like there? So just looking across and also gathering other important capital needs, like Banneker is going to need a new elevator. So what I anticipate is bringing this menu of options to the board, to town hall, get all the information out there so that the board can make intelligent decisions about where and how we need to invest, which unfortunately probably can't be everything that we need.
One other thing that I have is they will be coming from Wisconsin, and
That's just once. Ratio is in Indianapolis, and actually one of their staff is here in Bloomington. There's one visit from the firm in Wisconsin.
So for them, that would be the mileage, right? Because one is coming airfare and the other is going to be paid.
Correct. I believe, if I remember correctly, the one trip is built into the contract. If they had to come again, which I don't anticipate, they had a mileage rate in there if they needed to come a second time.
And then I guess my only other question is the mention of the grant. I apologize if you had told us about that in the past. Is that just one of many options we have to think about what we're going to use to fund any sports facility and pool renovations in the future?
Yes. So, as we think about master plan and capital investment, where is that capital investment going to come from? There's a few different options. So, Land and Water Conservation Fund is a grant that has funded Bloomington Parks projects in the past, but it's been quite a while. Right now, it is not a consistent and reliable fund. It is not happening every year. So we only received an announcement that it is happening this year, I think a month or two ago. It was kind of in flux or in question before that. That is the main high dollar grant that I am aware of that could bring money to an outdoor rec investment like this. Other sources could include a capital bond. Parks and Recreation has the authority to issue bonds, of course, also with council approval and controller and everything like that. Those are discussions I'm having now to explore what are all of our options. We have our non-reverting account, which does not have an excessive cash balance, could not fund very many capital projects, but we have assets owned by the Parks Department too we can look at, have been exploring some questions with those. And then also the general fund, of course. But, general fund, we expect historically the Parks Department here, along with Parks Departments across the country as a trend, have seen less investment in capital in the operating budget over the past 20 years or so, as more share of the budget goes to staffing, supplies, and expenses. We are the same trend as the country with that. So it's not possible for us to just say we're going to put this back in the general fund, especially when we know the impacts of Senate Enrolled Act 1 are coming. And we are facing, quite honestly, a very tough operational financial picture in the coming years. So all the more important for us to lay out our options and be clear-eyed about what things are going to cost, what the operational costs, the cost recovery, the subsidy, all the things we've been talking about with our master planning are, before making any decisions about where and how to target investment dollars for the maximum return.
Actually,
Yeah, thank you.
I have only one last question. The 3,000 is the whole thing, the whole package for the reimbursement expenses, or is per a person from the company?
I think again, I believe, so the lump sum covers everything we anticipate doing at this time. But if there was a need for additional scope, additional visit, that is there to cover those additional reimbursables that we would, it's almost like a contingency if there's something that goes beyond or an allowance to the contract. But I anticipate we would do this for the amount listed there. But we will explore the question about mills and seeing adding that on. That might be something we bring back to the board in the near future.
So the 59,000 could be also extra travels from there, based on a report, based on the assessment, or that would be one that is already penned here, and if they say that they need to come, or if parks ask for that.
So if I understand the question correctly, the contract amount on the staff report, 59,300, is the amount we anticipate spending. That includes the travel, that includes, the base, everything we need. If they were going to go beyond that, they would need to ask permission to add that scope, and we would need to approve that to add into that extra amount that's listed in there. But again, I do not anticipate that. What I anticipate maybe, though, is as we kick off with them in June, well, it is June, this month, and talk with them, we can explore the question about also taking a look at mills and making sure, we have all the options. I think that's fair.
Okay, all right. If there aren't any other questions, then do we have a motion to?
Yeah, sure. I'll move to approve the agreement with Ratio Architects.
All right, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion carried. Thank you, Tim. And then in item 6, we have a policy update for advisory councils, which Heidi will tell us about.
Hello, I'm Heidi Shoemaker, the Natural Resources Coordinator for the City of Bloomington. I'm also the staff liaison for the Environmental Resources Advisory Council. You were given a red line edit version of the policies as they were written in 2020. We have recently run into an issue where a member stepped down from the council. They were filling the role that someone had to come from the Utilities Service Board. We have been unable to fill that position. So at our meeting in April, the council got together and discussed whether or not we wanted to continue keeping the policies the way they are and unable to fill that, or to adapt our policies to make that position easier to fill, or that chair seat easier to fill. So historically, I looked back and found that this happened once before, when there was a requirement for someone to be from Indiana University's Outdoor Recreation and Environmental Education program. And when they were not able to fill that seat, they broadened it to someone with an expertise in outdoor recreation and environmental education. And so at this time, the council is recommending and asking for approval to change the policy that that person just has to have an expertise in water resource management instead of specifically being from the Utilities Service Board. While they were looking at the policies, because they had not been written since 2020, they did notice some additional changes that they thought should take place, including saying if there are extenuating circumstances and we can't meet 1 month, that is okay. That was not in the policies before. And the policies also mention other groups and organizations that the council will work with. And they noticed that the Commission on Sustainability and Resilience was not listed in that, and they asked to have that added. But I can answer any questions you have about any of the other red line changes that you see.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Heidi about this policy update? I don't see any.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve revisions to the Environmental Resources Advisory Council policy.
Second.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay. He's keeping us in suspense. Okay, all right, motion carries. Thank you, Heidi.
you.
And then in item 7 in this section is the People's Park alcohol use for Taste of Bloomington from Crystal Ritter.
Hello, Crystal Ritter, Community Events Coordinator again. I am here tonight to recommend the use of People's Park on Saturday, August 1st for beer and wine sales for the Taste of Bloomington. The event will run from 3 to 10 p.m. and the rain date for the event is Sunday, August 2nd. And if the date does move to Sunday, it would be from 1 until 8 p.m. And after a 5-year hiatus, the Taste of Bloomington came back last year to Kirkwood Avenue, and they used like essentially the whole 5 blocks of Kirkwood from Indiana down to College. And in that, in order to keep some safety issues from people walking up and down the street, because they had to keep Dunn at the request of the Bloomington Fire Department and the Bloomington Police Department for emergency access to and from the event. They needed to keep Dunn Street as well as Grant Street open, and being able to move all of the alcohol vendors to that area, they're hoping will keep it more safe and within an area where people aren't crossing streets. And I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have.
Okay.
I was just curious, is it like a beer garden, so the beverages are only served and consumed within People's Park, or it's just where the sales are taking place and then participants are allowed to take their alcohol?
So People's Park would be where the sales would be taking place. They are applying for an Alcohol Tobacco Commission festival permit so that people can walk up and down the street. The festival permit allows them to walk anywhere within the event perimeter, but they do have to have signage at any crossing that is going with outside of that permit that says no alcohol beyond this point. In addition to that, they are going to have volunteers and security that will be helping monitor alcohol from leaving the festival perimeter.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve alcohol use in People's Park for the Taste of Bloomington.
All right, and a roll call vote. Those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Motion carried. And then in 8, Kevin Terrell will tell us about the MOU with MCCSC for summer food service at Banneker.
Thank you all. Kevin Terrell here, the Program and Facility Coordinator for the Banneker Community Center. Our staff recommends that we approve the Memorandum of Understanding with MCCSC to provide all of the breakfast and lunches for the Banneker Community Center Summer Camp program in 2026, which started today with Beach Week. Got my bracelet on. MCCSC offered to partner with us in the spring to provide breakfast and lunches to the Banneker campers this year, starting today, Monday, June 1st. Until Friday, July 24th. They took over the responsibility of making and planning each meal, transporting it to Banneker fresh each day, planning all the menus to make sure they qualify under the summer food service program's parameters, and providing all the necessary documentation to the SFSP. Essentially, rather than us being our own individual site, we're piggybacking off of the school being the site, and we're under their umbrella, so to speak, which has reduced the stress level and reduced the tracking and reduced all of the administrative burden, put it on them rather than us. The advantages are several. I put a few of them on here. The quality and the freshness of the food served is much higher than it was before when we contracted with Chef for Hire out of Indianapolis. The daily deliveries at meal times are way less intrusive to the overall operation of the camp and less time consuming for our staff to be able to manage and organize, meaning me. We no longer have the responsibility of planning the meals ourselves that are compliant. That falls to MCCSC. It does eliminate any risk associated with either overspending our food budget, not being reimbursed by the state of Indiana. We no longer have to worry about that. Or do we have to worry with any acts of nature that would cause our stored food to go bad, and which would result in financial losses that could have happened a couple years ago when we had that huge power outage, and I had to come to Banneker at midnight and move food around all night to make sure it didn't go bad. Also, we found out today there's been a substantial reduction in our wasted food and our trash because of the way they pack it is much better, and the food is better, so the kids are eating more of it. We have substantially less food that's gone to waste, and there's been a pretty large increase in just on our parent satisfaction and our student satisfaction with the meals programs in general. The parents, once they found out we were finally making a change away from what we'd done previously, and then the kids today were very excited about having fresh hot food to eat for lunch and chocolate milk. So with that being said, we recommend that you approve this.
Okay.
And I'll answer any questions you have, if any.
Thank you for the details. Yeah. Any questions for Kevin?
No, it sounds like a really great relationship, so.
Yeah, as a background, not that it belabor it, but I tried to do this my very first year running this camp, and I could not get MCCSC to cooperate with what I wanted to do. And I've been struggling to do this year 2, year 3, so I was finally excited when they have new management in their nutrition program at MCCSC. We were able to talk them into that and coordinate it, and we have a good relationship with them, and I think this is a really big positive for the camp.
Great. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with MCCSC to provide meals for Banneker.
Okay, and a roll call vote. Of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera. Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion
Thank you.
carried. Thank you. I'm glad kids are excited about school lunch. Yeah? All right, and then item 9 is the partnership with Downtown Bloomington for the 4th of July, which is usually Bill Ream?
I'm going to do it today.
You're going to do it, okay.
Bill is out prepping for an event for this weekend, so I am filling in for him today. Staff recommend the approval of a partnership agreement between the City of Bloomington and Downtown Bloomington, Inc., as you stated, for the 4th of July parade. We do have a 50-50 split of revenue from parade entries after some expenses have been paid, and that is paid mostly out of our non-reverting community events budget. This is the 18th year for this partnership, and the goal is to combine resources with both Parks and DBI to provide the 4th of July parade. Looking forward to it happening once again. The parade is on Saturday, July 4th. It'll take place at 10 a.m. to noon with a performance by the Bloomington Community Band starting at 9 a.m. on the courthouse lawn. Applications for the parade are available online right now, and encourage those that want to participate to get their application in. Important to note that this year, because it is on a Saturday and because of the route that we have now used the last few years, we will be doing the parade and having the farmers market at the same time, essentially in the same place. So a little chaotic here on Morton Street, but we feel confident that we can manage both large events at the same time and give downtown community just a great morning to come spend time at the market, visit the parade, check out our farm vendors, and have a great day. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. All right, no questions from me? No?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah?
I'll make a motion to approve the partnership agreement with City of Bloomington Parks and Rec and then Downtown Bloomington, Inc.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera. Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, I'm glad we were able to work in the market and the parade.
Yeah, we needed a little extra help from the Trades District for a few more parking lots, and Solution Tree has been great and donated their parking lots. So we're just shifting the staging areas down a little bit, working with Clarence and the Farmers Market to get them in and out prior and after the parade.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you, so that motion is carried. And then we have a partnership with Mad for My Dog for the annual Drool in the Pool.
Yes. So staff recommend the approval of the 2026 partnership agreement between Parks and Mad for My Dog. There is no money exchanged in this partnership. This is the 21st year for Drool in the Pool. That's the 10th for this official partnership with Mad for My Dog, but they were involved long before our official partnership. Last year, we continued to have great success at Drool in the Pool. 180 dogs, over 300 humans visit the pool during the 2 days of Drool in the Pool at Mills. The event this year will be Wednesday and Thursday, August 5th and 6th from 4 to 8 p.m., again at Mills Pool. There's contests, dog-related businesses will be on site, and of course, swimming for the dogs. And for the third year, we'll be doing the VIP hour from 4 to 5, so people can sign up, 20 participants, pictures, time in the pool with less dogs, and some specific goodie bags for those that sign up for the VIP hour. No registration is needed except for the VIP hour. We hope everyone comes out to Mills Pool for Drool in the Pool. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. I think you could charge more for the VIP hour.
Well, we'll be looking at that, don't you worry.
This is the first year, or no, that's the second year we've done the VIP.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the partnership agreement with Mad for My Dog for Drool in the Pool.
Second.
Okay.
I may just add one thing. We put this in the section C just because of what's going on with Mills right now too. Just to give an update there, we had a leak detection company out last week, just getting findings from them, not as conclusive as we hoped. We're going to meet out there tomorrow. Our intent is still to find that and fix that and get that open, but the situation is developing, and of course, details of this event could change based on what ends up happening with Mills and startup, shutdown decisions that we may have to make, things like that. But certainly we have another board meeting in July where we can revisit if any updates need to be made.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right.
I think we still have to vote.
I think we do too. Okay. So a roll call vote of those in favor of the partnership with Mad for My Dog for Drool in the Pool.
Kathleen Mills.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera. Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
All right, motion is carried. And then in number 11, Clarence will tell us about the Farmers Market Advisory Council appointment of 2 new members.
Clarence Boone, Program Facility Coordinator for Parks and Rec. Staff recommends the appointment of the following 2 individuals to the Farmers Market Advisory Council. Robin Katowski, Customer Representative, and Robin is a longtime community member and former market staff person. She wants to share her skills for the betterment of the market by serving as a customer representative of the Farmers Market Advisory Council. And Robin spent 11 years serving as a market staff person. She served in the role of market master, and she is primarily an agriculturalist. She founded 2 different family farm entities in South Central Indiana and vended at the market in both cases. Robin promotes sustainable farming practices and seeks to help connect growers to the resources and tools they need. And she would be honored to serve the city, the vendors, and the market-going public as a Farmers Market Advisory Council member representing customers. And the second individual is Lori Bolin, who would come on as a food and beverage artisan representative. And since 2024, Lori has been a food and beverage artisan with the Bloomington Farmers Market. She and her family have experienced the best of what the market has to offer, a deep sense of community among farmers, growers, and makers, quality business relationships that have sparked new and better products for market customers, community connections with customers, and these relationships extend beyond the market and opportunities to contribute to the betterment of the community overall. And as a member of the Advisory Council, she will commit to sharing, utilizing her decades of leadership and business ownership experience. Small business ownership sews all of the market vendors together, and there are unique challenges for small business owners, and where she can provide optimism, empathy, and the ideas to ease those challenges in the context of the market, she would be delighted to do so. And as a longtime business owner and consultant, she would also hope to make calm in the storm contributions in those moments when emotions and conflict arise. That never happens, by the way. Also, staff further recommends reappointment of the following individuals to additional terms as permitted in the bylaws on the Farmers Market Advisory Council. In the role of customer representative, we have Carolyn Calloway Thomas, Julia Fox, Ben Gardner, and Edward Robertson. And for food and beverage artisan, we have Louise Miracle. And farm vendor representatives, we have John Norton, Karen St. Rain, Kip Schlegel, and Patricia Sigmund. And again, as the bylaws permit, they can roll into an additional term. And the background, the Farmers Market Advisory Council consists of 11 members representing market vendors, customers, and food and beverage artisans. There are 5 customer reps, 2 FBA reps, and 4 farm vendors. And the council acts in an advisory capacity to the Board of Park Commissioners and park staff on policy matters relating to the farmers market. And again, we seek to add those 2 new appointments. And I'll take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Clarence. Any questions about these market appointments?
So, yeah, thank you, Clarence, for the information. So the total would be 11, and the distribution would be 4 for farm vendors and 2 for food and beverage artisan representatives.
And then 5 for customer.
That might be because there are less food and beverage artisans in the farmers market. Is that the reason?
That is correct, yes.
And you mentioned the terms for the reappointments. That would be for, you mentioned the term, like 1-2 years?
The other members that currently serve, their terms have come to an end, their current terms, and then they're permitted to serve additional times. No one can exceed over 3
But the terms last 1 or 2 years?
The food and beverage is 1, the farm vendors is 2, and the customer would be 3.
And the previous ones, the ones that left, any reason why they were leaving, or they were?
Well, we had one individual that did leave. He basically had turned out. All foreseeable additional terms he had exhausted. And now, and the other one has served his particular terms. All can come back as public members and make contributions. And if they sit out for, say, additional 2 years or maybe 1 year in some cases, they can come back and serve again on the advisory council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'd just say a public thank you to all of these folks for serving on the advisory council and appreciate their work. So I'll make a motion to approve the 2 new members, Robin Katowski and Lori Bolin, as well as the reappointment of the 9 current members.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera. Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Thank you, Clarence. And then item 12 in this section is from Sean Marlar, the agreement with Mid-States for playground equipment.
Good evening. Sean Marlar, Recreation Facilities General Manager. Parks is recommending a contract with Mid-States Recreation for the removal of the existing playground feature known as the accessible carousel and installation of a replacement feature. The current feature has been a challenge since it was first installed in 2019. It's broken down at least 4 times, not including staff time and staff labor. That's cost us $6,200. The new piece, all of it together, the removal and installation, has a do not exceed contract of amount of $24,849 to be paid for out of Switchyard Park's non-reverting fund. I'm happy to take any questions.
Sean, is there any kind of a warranty on these things? Because it sounds like the other one suffered problems from the beginning.
It did suffer problems from the beginning, and we did take full advantage of the warranty. It just went beyond the warranty, and not everything was covered. Basically, the design of it and the use of it, it had multiple spots where the weight and torque just put extra tension on it. It had parts freeze up, the brakes froze up, and when that happened, it wasn't able to actually spin. As a carousel, not much good if it doesn't spin.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I should point out the new piece, the new feature is a different design, a much simpler design. So hopefully we won't have those problems. It's also a design that's in here in town that we've had a chance to look at, so.
Oh, there's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is also an accessible piece, although it does require somebody who uses a wheelchair to exit the wheelchair, unlike the previous one, but it is a simple act.
Okay, nice. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Michigan Playgrounds for the new Unity Spinner contract.
All right, and a roll call vote. Are those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
And then the final two items in this section 13 is the Beeline Trail closure request for Second Street Improvement Project. Amy.
Amy Lionbeck, Operations Coordinator. Staff is recommending approval of a full trail closure for the Beeline Trail for the Second Street Improvement Project. Closures will occur at the Beeline Second Street intersection across various dates. Weather pending, the first closure will be for 1 day on June 8th. The second closure would be for 5 days, July 20 through the 24th. The third closure would be 5 days in September between the 14th and the 18th. Signed detours and pedestrian paths will be provided with the additional approval of the engineering department, and the trail will be reopened between closures. Per Parks policy, the Beeline Trail is a Class 1 trail that requires approval from the Board of Park Commissioners for non-emergency closures that last longer than 1 day and require a full closure. These closures are related to the engineering department's West 2nd Street Modernization and Safety Improvement Project that is scheduled to kick off next month. The project includes installing two-way protected bike lanes from the Beeline to South Walker Street, along with upgraded traffic signals, new stormwater infrastructure, and improved accessibility features, including sidewalks, curb ramps, and bus stops throughout the corridor. Some of the related work will require a full closure. The Beeline Trail will be closed at its intersection with West 2nd Street at various times between June 8th and September 18th. And those dates may be extended depending on weather as they're working on these things. The closure will be communicated via social media and on-site signage. Pedestrian signs will be utilized to warn trail users of upcoming closures and detours. There will be detour signs going around the trail closing with pedestrian channelizers and temporary ramps. So, and this is another one that Rebecca is really the lead on. I don't know a ton, but I'm sure other people can answer questions that you may have.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions about this Beeline Trail closure? No. Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the trail closure for the Beeline Trail on various dates.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
you.
Thank you. And 14, last item in this part then, is the agreement with Jack Laurie Group for the TLRC floors.
Good evening, Darren Eads, Facility Coordinator with the Twin Lakes Recreation Center. You have before you this evening, I started to say afternoon, but is a service agreement with Jack Laurie Floors. We're going to begin a restroom remodel on the main level restrooms in August, actually mid-July. Jack Laurie, if you remember, did our recoat on our basketball floors back in 2024. They're a great company to work with. I know the city has actually used them in multiple locations, and we look forward to having them committed to do the vinyl work there in the bathrooms. Total cost on that is $11,865, and that'll come out of the $5,000 capital line. Be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Darren about this one? No.
All right. Make a motion to approve the service agreement with Jack Laurie Floors.
Okay, and a roll call vote of those in favor?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera, Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay. Yep, thank you. Motion carried. And then we move into our Section D reports. So first, we have the Recreation Services Events Annual Highlights presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Again, Leslie Brinson, Recreation Division Director. Change of date, got all my staff out at events or on vacation, so you're stuck with me again doing this report. This is something we do annually just to highlight all of the community events. Do you know how to make those? Community events. Programs that have been scheduled were a little later than normal, so several obviously have already taken place, but wanted to give you a quick highlight of what we got going on. Winter started with our Winter Palooza event. We continue to offer Bloomington trivia series on a semi-annual or semi-monthly basis. This year, Winter Palooza, as you remember, we partnered with Freeze Fest. We also offered Arctic Adventure, which is a small program with scavenger hunts at the park. New this year, we offered 2 sip and skate programs. We worked with Chris at the Frank Southern Ice Arena and had some adult-only skates at the arena. They became really popular. The first one had over 300 guests. We ran out of skate rental. It was packed. I don't know that I've ever seen the arena that crowded. It was really great with the DJ. So we decided to run it back and do it a couple weeks later and had another great event. I think adults enjoyed having the ice arena all to itself. We did have alcohol sales as well as a DJ and games and a couple of themed events. Moved into the next month with Pet Expo, continues to be crazy popular. 42 vendors, over 784 people came to check out the vendors, bring their animals. Children's Expo had a great year this year, over 600 guests. 50 Plus Expo continues to just grow, record-setting numbers of vendors at 105 this year. 20-some year program continues to grow with over 670 guests as well. Another new event that we did this year was called Free Range Arcade. You approved a partnership for that back a little while ago. Great first year, over 500 people came out to try different video games, board games, virtual games. I look forward to extending that event year after year and just continuing to grow that opportunity. The gardens off to a great start. If you haven't been by, I would suggest you go check them out. They look really beautiful right now, 279 plots. Continue to host garden programs. Both Willie Streeter and Butler now have new chain link fenced, and we continue to repair and add raised garden beds as needed. We hop into spring and summer. We have the Community Zoo by You program that continues on a monthly basis to explore all kinds of different animals. Mad Paws, I love that picture. Had some weather issues this year, so we didn't have quite as good of attendance, but any dog activity we can do continues to be popular. Another new event we did this year was a dance walk where we just had people gather at the plaza here and do a walk down the beeline with music and dancing. For its first attempt, 30 people came out and walked with us. Look forward to doing that again this fall. Flights of Fancy, the second year for this one, our new kites and bubbles activity, had over 300 people this year out for that. Had another great day, great wind, great kites. It's a fun event to watch at Switchyard. Another new program, History in Bloom. We continued, moved off our dearly departed and did some tours in the cemetery that were not related to Halloween oriented, but continued to be popular with over 78 people coming out to tour the Rose Hill, hear stories about, I think it was Bloomington, history of Bloomington history, people who had been around a long time. So we continue to partner with the Monroe County History Center for that event. It does great. Summer Launch Party, again, another great event, 575. We had to move it to Switchyard this year, but a good change there. The escape room is this weekend, still spots available. In partnership with Get Out Bloomington, continues to be super popular. Junk in the Trunk, we added a spring Junk in the Trunk that sold out very quickly, over 100 booths, 1,700 shoppers in the one we had in April. Look forward to doing that again in August. The inside booth sold out in 20 minutes-ish, so it continues to be crazy popular as well. We already know about the farmers market. It's off to some record numbers of attendance. I think over 5,000 were in attendance on Saturday with 59 vendors. Continue to look forward to a great season. We've added some youth days at the market. This is our third year, looking at staff, third year for youth days at the market. Continue to be popular. I know the first one filled and sold out, and we had to add some more spots to get some people off the waiting list. So a great opportunity for kids to come out and be entrepreneurs. We're doing one at Food Truck Friday again, and then we'll do another one in the fall. First one coming up here this month in June, and we're going to try one at the Tuesday market as well. The Performing Arts Series kicks off really this weekend. We had a movie last week, 2 weeks ago, but really starts this weekend with a concert in Bryant Park. Continue to have movies. Civic and Taming of the Shrew is happening right now at Waldron Hill and Buskirk Park. It's got one more weekend. We will do Strawberry Shortcake next weekend, adding a Jazz on the Tracks, several jazz and community orchestra events happening as well. Tuesday Tunes, there'll now be music at every Tuesday market at Hopewell. Looking forward to that. Kicks off tomorrow with Don't Call Me Betty as the band there. Again, Sundays in Bryant Park, we continue to do happy hours on the lawn, and you can see all of our main stage concerts there that continue to be popular. Then we move into, keep going, Rainbow Rink, 4th of July Parade. We've talked about Drool in the Pool, and a Bloomington Branches event in Bryant Park. This actually is Bryant Park's 75th anniversary, so we'll be highlighting it at the Bloomington Branches event as well. Glow Week will happen in mid-September. Splash pad event, a scavenger hunt, and then the big dance party on Saturday night. All ages, dance party. I think the staff enjoy spraying paint as much as the people enjoy getting sprayed on. Move into October, obviously one of our busiest months, Trick or Treat Trail, Festival of Ghost Stories, Skate and Scare at the Ice Arena, Dearly Departed Cemetery Tours, and then also the Bloomington Pumpkin Launch all take place in October. Move into the holiday season. We have Sensory Santa, happy hours with our Yappy holidays with our dogs. Of course, the holiday market on that last Saturday in November, and we kind of end the year with our Skate with Santa program. Looking forward to a continued 2026. Couldn't be done without great community events and rec staff. They get all the awards and props for coming up with programs and running them in all weather, and happy to have another year with them. I'd be happy to answer any questions about anything in particular.
All right. Thank you for that rundown and phenomenal attendance numbers. My
Yeah,
God.
we're off to a great year. I mean,
Yeah.
record numbers at a lot of programs.
That's
So
really
It's a
great.
great start.
Yeah.
I think that staff should do their example of the dance walk when they come up to give their report.
There you go,
I like
Crystal.
that.
There you go, Mary.
That'd be great. Okay, all right, thank you for that. And then number 2 in the reports is the Natural Resources 2025 Annual Report from Mary.
Hi, everybody. Mary Wells here, Natural Resources Manager, to provide you with an overview of the 2025 Annual Report. It's going to be hard to follow up all those amazing events. So starting with this report, our natural resource area will provide a summary of the priorities and accomplishments for natural resources management, environmental education, and the Griffey Lake Boathouse operations. It's all good. It's all good. Stay there for a minute. Thank you. So yeah, sorry, you've got a lot to handle right now, so thank you, Leslie. In 2025, we worked with 3 contractors for various ecological restoration and consulting services, first of which was aquatic control. In 2025, they continued to build upon successful efforts started in 2024 to monitor and manage the invasive Eurasian milfoil at Griffey Lake. This work was partially funded through the DNR Lake and River Enhancement, or LAIR grant. Aquatic Control also worked at Miller's Showers to continue their annual management of various nuisance aquatic vegetation that threaten our stormwater management operations. We also worked quite a bit with Ecologic at various parks, They worked at Miller Showers Park. 2025 was their year 8 of a 10-year management plan for various invasive species monitoring and vegetation management in the 3.14 acres of restoration areas at Miller Showers. And then they also worked over at Rogers Family Park. They were involved in the design and install of 3.6 acre restoration planting from the Rogers Family Park project in 22-23. So last year they kind of contracted to maintain and manage that restoration area, get us to that final mark of getting it installed. At Switchyard, Ecologics worked there since dating back to 2018, having been involved with the installation and management of the various mosaic of restoration and existing natural areas. They again worked to manage 27 acres there, and then new in 2025, they began a broad level invasive species mapping effort to guide our future work. We also wrapped up a contract with KCI Technologies. They contracted to work at 2 parks. At Crestmont, they finished up about 3.5 acres of winter creeper treatment. And they also worked in collaboration with our vegetation management staff to clear 1/3 acre of very dense Asian bush honeysuckle at Upper Cascades. Click. Thank you. So speaking of our vegetation management team, they focused on 2 kind of large-scale efforts in 2025, in addition to their ongoing work to manage a range of high-priority invasive species targets, as well as managing native plantings, installing native plantings, and other activities. One of the projects I'd like to celebrate is they started in 2024 to work on clearing a dense mix of woody invasives within the 240-acre state-dedicated portion of Griffey, basically the southern portion of Griffey. So far, as of March 2026, they've cleared over 40 acres, so pretty exciting work. They also expanded upon their efforts with KCI Technologies. Last year, they worked along with our urban green space community outreach staff and volunteers to remove very dense Asian bush honeysuckle and other woody invasives around the waterfall areas at Upper Cascades. So it's looking pretty good. We've got some more work to do, but as of March this year, nearly 6 acres have been cleared. They have, I think I wrote 16 priority targets, but it's an underestimation. It's definitely in excess of 20 species. But one of which is depicted here as a high priority target right now, especially is poison hemlock, which poses a human health hazard. And then click. Were focused heavily on Tree of Heaven last year. Go back for a sec, sorry. Which is a preferred host plant for spotted lanternfly, which is a fairly new invasive insect here in Indiana, first reported in 2021. Fingers crossed, not yet here in Monroe County. So we also did some tree plantings and quite a bit else. All right, click, thank you. Our trails management staff are responsible for various ongoing maintenance and management activities for our 27+ miles of natural surface and mountain bike trails on our managed property. Outside of their regular duties, just to celebrate a few highlights from 2025, we contracted with fire dogs to remove the old hazardous stairs on the north side of Griffey Dam spillway. So a picture of before, and then after, we'd had to board them up. Just cleared that, and then we're gonna be working to restore that area and restrict access. Sorry, And we also collaborated on some trail reroutes with Hoosier Hikers Council for the Griffey Trail Loop. And for our Adopt a Trail program, we hosted 9 volunteers contributing over about 94 hours of service. Thank you, Leslie. So going on to wildlife and habitat management, various activities were taken to monitor, support, and manage wildlife, as well as to provide outreach and for wildlife at Bloomington parks. These efforts help sustain natural ecosystems, prevent wildlife overpopulation, mitigate habitat loss, and support our natural resource health. So first off was the completion of the report
by our natural resources education staff specialists of the Griffey Lake Nature Preserve insect inventory, which took place in 2024. The report documents 480 species of insects at Griffey, including 3 species of special concern here in Indiana. And depicted here is the dusky azure state endangered butterfly. Click. We also worked to rededicate our both Bloomington and Monroe County in 2025 as a bird town, official bird town status. As well, our staff worked with the Environmental Resources Advisory Council as well as other community partners to get recertified. It's a 2-year certification through the Indiana Audubon Society's Bird Town Indiana program as a part of the national bird town effort. And then one more click on this slide. We also undertook our annual deer management efforts, contracting or building upon the work dating back to 2015. We contracted again with Ecologic to continue their ongoing deer browse vegetation monitoring, which began in 2018. New in 2025, we restricted the monitoring to only the herbaceous vegetation layer at Griffey. Results are showing the average plant height of Solomon seal species, which is the deer browse indicator, has continued to increase each year since this species is directly impacted by heavy deer browse, which you can see the end of that plant has been eaten by something. I can't verify it's a deer, but the findings support that deer management efforts at Griffey are having a positive impact on our native plant communities. And then we also, going back one more, sorry. We're still on wildlife habitat management. We also, again, worked with White Buffalo, who have provided deer management services at Griffey since 2017. The annual deer hunt took place over 4 days in November, coinciding with the DNR rifle deer hunting season. For the first time in 2025, we started taking metrics. Chest measurements were taken to help us estimate weight and general health of the deer. We had 22 hunters last year, and 26 deer were taken as compared to 19 in 2024. Thank you. And then I just wanted to celebrate the fact that IU, or Natural Resources, is able to provide opportunities through the IU O'Neill Leadership Program for graduate students to get hands-on practical experience while making a difference in the community at Bloomington Parks and Recreation. A good portion of the work of our fellows involves parks asset inventory and GIS data collection, so getting some pretty good hands-on experience on a very important skill. Abby was our outgoing fellow, and she assisted also with the creation of self-guided outings in the Parks property in our outer spatial mobile app. And incidentally, Abby's not depicted here, but she also worked as a trails laborer for Natural Resources seasonally. And then our fellow Tristan, who's on the right in the corner over there, was our incoming fellow, and she provided planning and logistical experience or support for our deer hunt, as well as assisted with various other community events. Thank you. And then I would be remiss in not celebrating all the work of our amazing Natural Resources education staff. They conducted a lot of amazing programs and outreach opportunities, including Griffey and Leonard Spring Nature Days, Roving Naturalists, Adopt a Stream, After School Nature Club programs, as well as hosted several large community events, over 1,500 people attending Bugfest. For the first time last year, we hosted the annual Nature Days at Lower Cascades with a total of 138 attendees. 5 of our staff were trained in monarch butterfly tagging, which Hannah's depicted here during that. And they were able to, through the Monarch Watch program, where they were able to tag 20 monarchs the first year of that program. We also hosted a pollinator habitat workshop in a collaboration with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And for our Adopt a Stream program, we involved 26 volunteers contributing 212 hours of service. And we had 50 participants in our Hoosier River Watch program opportunity. And last but not least, Griffey Boathouse. I just want to mention some maintenance activities that were completed. replacement of leaking skylights at our boathouse, comfort station, and storage. And we did some follow-up cleaning in follow-up to that repair. And then some benchmarks for our boathouse include improvements to the Griffey Lake 10 Punch rental pass, resulting in increases in sales over 2024. So in conclusion, that was a lot. It's been a good first year as Natural Resources Manager, and I'm excited to share a few, next slide, things that are kind of up on the horizon. So we're working on, in the future, hopefully this year, contracting for master planning at Wapahani Mountain Bike Park. We've started work on a restoration area along the creek at Rogers Family Park. We're in the beginning phases of working with DNR to put Leonard Springs into state dedication protections. And we're considering, we're drawing in proposals right now to do pre and post prescribed fire vegetation monitoring at Griffey. We'll be continuing forest management activities at Griffey, and we have goals for accessible and sustainable trail improvements. And that was a lot, so please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mary. I do have a quick question of something that just came up in my neighborhood people wondered about. When you are removing invasive species, obviously you can just pull things out, chop them down, or spray some sort of pesticide. Is there also any occasion where you burn an area to remove some of it?
Yes, so we'll be covering that in our 2026 annual report, but we were able to implement prescribed fire this spring, or late winter, I will say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Yeah, appreciate all the details, thanks.
Yeah, and I would just comment that I'm excited to see that there's a potential to do some master planning at Wapahani. I have heard lots of feedback that they'd like a pump track and all sorts of other features there. Definitely seems like an underutilized asset, so that's great.
Okay. Thank you. All right, great, thank you. And then the final report this evening is number 3 is the seminary portalet. It's Amy's night, yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think we saved the best for last. I wish that Leslie's had been the note to end on, because that was really fun and uplifting, but this is the reality of managing parks. So here we are, Amy Linebeck, Operations Coordinator. When you all approved the contract to service and clean the seminary portalet in January, we had some discussion about it at that time, and you had asked for an update as we go into the warmer months, busier time for that area and that asset. So I'm here to report on that. In January through March, the unit was only serviced Monday through Friday, with the weekends being off. And we were doing that as a trial basis to see if we could, if it would be okay to not service it for a couple of days and then just really see what the use was over the winter. And it became very clear the contractor provides me with a picture every day, before and after. And those are available for you if you are interested and would like to see those. I have a file, but it became very clear that it was being regularly trashed and vandalized every day. So it was not over, the weekend, it would be heavier trash. I was kind of thinking that would be the pattern, but it really became clear that it's just regularly used, heavily used, we'll say. So it does not seem feasible to go more than a day without cleaning it, because it becomes unusable for anyone after, someone has made a big mess in there. Then the unit is unusable until it gets cleaned and serviced again. So, so that's how that's going. Despite the challenges, we also hear that the portalet is providing an important service to park users and the area businesses and residents. As we budget for 2027, we have received a budget commitment from the Economic and Sustainable Development Department to fund basically all of the cost for cleaning and servicing this portalette in 2027 on a daily basis. So these funds are being provided because of the additional service that this portalette is providing to ease the pressure on downtown businesses and keep the area safe and beautiful. So let me know what questions you have.
I have questions.
Okay.
I want to see the pictures, so if you could send those to me, I'd like to see those.
They're in the,
They're in the drive, Jim.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Secondly, I suggested at one time that we consider putting a camera there. Is that an option that we can explore?
So actually, recently, we've had some conversations with BPD about some additional security cameras in potentially Hopewell and Seminary Park, based on some funds that we believe could be available for that, and the fact that Seminary recently got connected up through ITS, through whatever, fiber, network, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, that gives us greater options and capability. So we are exploring that now. And Brian Giffen, I'll just mention, is also here from Office of the Mayor. He's the city's homelessness response coordinator, and so can also answer questions or speak to this as needed.
Yeah, I would like to strongly recommend that we have a camera there, that we have a sign that says this is video, you know, the outside of this is video monitoring, and any vandalism of this will be is subject to criminal or civil action. If we're spending this money on a daily basis because of people doing this to the portalette, I think that at some point there should be some, if not criminal issues with it, there should be some civil issues. I mean, this is just simply not acceptable. I have talked to the local property owners who do think that it is of value to have it, but you know, it's the same issue I have with the parking garage bathrooms that are locked a large percentage of the year, probably because of vandalism as well. But this is under our bailiwick, and I think we have a responsibility to handle it responsibly. And certainly cleaning it on a daily basis is something we need to do, but we also need to see what steps we can take to eliminate or to try to better control this issue. So I'm happy to hear from the city's homeless coordinator.
Brian, would you like to say or add anything? And Jim, I do think we might be coming to you, the board, in the future here, in the near future, with some security camera options for review.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Brian Giffen, City Homelessness Response Coordinator. Yeah, I mean, just echoing what he already said, we hear from the property owners around the area that, you know, they're not experiencing as many issues. I actually just don't hear from them, which is always a positive, right? If they're not reaching out to me, that's a good sign for me. It's rare that somebody reaches out to me with a positive, but yeah, I mean, it's serving a valuable resource to our community, not just to the folks that are in Seminary, but the people that are around there, and kind of helping with the hopeful economic development of that area going forward. And I've also been in talks with the BPD on, they've expressed interest in having cameras there as well, so that's something that we're going to work towards. And any other questions I can answer.
No, that would be great. I think at a minimum, the next step we need to take is to have cameras there, and so I'd be very much in favor of that.
Jim, I'll just mention there is a security camera in Seminary right now that is quite dated, I believe, and so that's also part of it. It's just covers that plaza area, and some just typical security cameras could help us out in that area.
Yeah, thank you.
Tim, I think you've answered this before, but I mean, we have other portalettes in other locations, and do they see as much trash and vandalism, or?
Not as much, but
Not nearly the same level, but we do have staff that go to each of those on a daily basis and check to make sure that they're clean and ready for use for the public. So there is some in all of them. I mean, just like any parks, we have vandalism and trash, but the level is not nearly the same.
and even sometimes severe, but just not with the frequency that we see in seminary.
Yeah.
The other one that we probably have the most problems with is the Bryan Park pool backside one. That one has a lot as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and correct, I think that we used to have, at least during COVID, we put some portalettes along the Beeline Trail, and those experienced similar type vandalism, is that?
Yeah, that was actually,
right?
that was not our portalet. That was the portalet for the emergency winter shelter, but it was along the Beeline Trail and did create issues.
Yeah, thank you.
So right now we have only one, right? That's
At Seminary Park, yes, just one.
right. And the invoice or the quotes requested by the Economic and Sustainable Development Department is to just to help with the cleaning or
Continue
adding
they're going to
more?
continue funding the rental and cleaning. It's not our unit that we own, so it's a rental and cleaning fee.
But only for that.
Yes, for that one.
And one other question that I have, because I use that road, is there any reason for the portalet to be on that corner between?
It's for access.
Way, just in case of an accident that we don't want. And if someone is inside, is that not risky, maybe the person inside? Because I see that it could be placed in a different place. We have had in Bloomington the situation in a restaurant, the corner, it was crashed by a car, and thank God no one was there in that corner, that table inside. And also close to the IU campus, there was one other accident, and thank God the person wasn't in that corner. So I'm thinking we have Walnut and we have Second. We don't want an accident, but things might happen. I don't know if it could be placed in a different location in the park.
I believe that the location was chosen for the ease of access for the truck that has to get in there to pump and clean and service it. They're removing, they have like a big hose, vacuum hose that they stick in there to remove the waste. So it's a big vehicle, and I believe that that was really the only area that the truck could easily access. So that's, and unless anyone else has other information about.
Yeah, we can certainly take a look at that, Israel, but yeah, logistically, right now, that is the best and maybe only possible location there, but we can take another look.
Okay. And obviously, there are trash cans in seminary, and I know Park spends a lot of time emptying those. And I mean, are they overflowing? Is there a need for more, or people are just choosing to throw their garbage in the portalet?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but just checking. Okay.
Yeah, the staff meets there every day at 8 a.m., and they spend about an hour or more sometimes cleaning the entire park. It's a daily issue, and so more trash cans really isn't going to solve anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Damages and vandalism, they come separate, or are we talking about the same thing about damage and the damage being an act of vandalism?
So there has been both just, being left trash inside, but also there were a few fires started in the unit. The contractor has not charged us for anything. They have not replaced it, so there are some holes where you can see there was a fire started. And that does concern me safety-wise. So I think having cameras there and some language about, this is being monitored, I think that would be a really good improvement.
Okay.
Remind me one more thing. So it closes at the time the park is closed, right? The service?
I'm sorry, say that.
The service or the portal. It's
Yeah, we don't lock it
No,
or
yeah.
do anything to it, but I mean, the park is closed
The
at
park-
11 p.m.
so after 11 p.m. is still.
I mean, we don't do anything
It's
to
permanent.
secure it because it's just a portalet, but technically the park is closed at 11.
Which brings me back to my never-ending query of why we're opening that park is open till 11 o'clock. But
Yeah.
that's something I'd like to continue to address. Nobody, I don't know that anybody agrees with me, but I don't think there's any reason for Seminary Park to be.
Jim, I don't disagree. It's just we haven't quite had the bandwidth to get to that, but maybe we need to get back to that and take a look.
I would like to.
Okay, all right, thank you, Amy, thank you, Brian, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then we go to public comment. Do we have any public comment this evening? No?
There's nobody online, no?
Okay, all right, and anyone here in person? Don't see anyone unknown, okay. All right, and then back to Tim for any final announcements.
I will be as expedient as possible. I know we're a little over time. That's what happens when we combine a couple months' worth into one, so thank you to everyone for being flexible. I want to recognize this was the first month of our new, more digitally accessible board packet process. Hopefully it went well. If board members have any feedback about how you're accessing items, please let us know. We'll continue to evolve this, but this will help us meet the standards that would have been in effect now, but have been delayed a year by the federal government. So that said, we are still very much working towards digital accessibility and being ready for all of this. Super busy time of year. This is the time of year where we really get stretched thin, excessive growth, pools, things breaking, leaking, messes, vandalism. This is the peak time of year. So kudos to all staff who are trying to keep up. You know, we're working on the Frank Southern Ice Arena. We actually met with the US EPA today. They were in town to follow up on the leak incident in March. Had a really good meeting with them out of Chicago. We're going to be meeting and talking tomorrow about next steps with Mills Pool. What are our options now that we've had this leak detection company out? What can we do? And obviously, we already kind of got to some of the facility master plan stuff I was talking about. So a lot more to come on that. But we will inquire about the Mills renovation thing with Ratio and bring that back. Sycamore Shelter also got quite hit by that large bur oak tree. The good news is we were able to reopen the main part of the shelter, likely for this weekend for our rentals. We're working on cleaning it up this week. Insurance adjusters coming out to take a look. It will be some time before we are able to reconstruct, and I say reconstruct, not repair, reconstruct the south end of the shelter because it was pretty well obliterated. Big event, Tuesday Market starts tomorrow. Come on out. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see anyone there. Performing Arts Series, Leslie touched on it, lots of things going on. Shakespeare, Brian concert, movies, first Grand Falloon concert on the 20th. 4th of July parade's happening. We've got Pollinator Week, a lot of activities happening for that, June 21st to 28th. I can share more about that in email. And our next meeting, I can confirm as of tonight, we will update the calendar officially, will be July 23rd at 5 p.m. I need to work on confirming a room and location because council chambers is taken. We'll take the date. We found a consensus. We'll figure out the room. So thank you, everyone, for everything tonight.
All right,
One
thank you.
question,
Oh, yes,
Kathleen.
yep.
So remind me, the escape room is this weekend, right? RCA Park.
RCA Park there, I believe this weekend Friday is full, but there are spots available on Saturday. And then next weekend, I think Friday has spots available. Friday and Saturday both, I think, have some spots available. But yes, this Friday and Saturday and next at RCA Park.
All right, thank you to everyone on staff, and with that, I'll adjourn the June meeting of the Bloomington Board of Park Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks.